Hey everyone, 皆さんこんにちは、Ananya です。As you've noticed from the title, I have a really big announcement today. I just quit my job at Amazon to move to Japan and work at a startup and create content. Since I was 13 years old, it's been a huge dream of mine to move to Japan. I've been studying and speaking Japanese for about 10 years now, as you guys know, and so this was definitely a planned but also very sudden life change, and we're gonna get all into it, and I'm gonna share everything with you guys. And if you guys are new to the channel, hi, my name is Ananya. I've been studying and speaking Japanese for about 10 years now, and I fell in love with Japan when I was 13 and have been self-studying Japanese since. I live in San Francisco and I live a mini double life as I did my tech job and also did content creation. Let's get into this actual announcement, the behemoth in the room. So a lot of you guys don't know this, but I've been working in tech for about a year and a half now, doing a lot of marketing. While it was an amazing, great learning experience, I knew my true passion was just doing business in relation to Japan and also content creation. And so these two things just mattered so much to me, and I was like, okay, I have to do this. And over the past years, I've had opportunities to go to Japan, but every single time it just wouldn't work out, whether it was because of the pandemic or it was the recession. Different things got in the way, and at one point I was like, what am I doing all this for? Every single time it's just not working out. Maybe I should just give up. I even tried to do a study abroad, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this, but it just feels like maybe the world doesn't want me to go out there. Maybe I shouldn't be pursuing this. But I wanted to give it one more chance. And now on to why I'm moving. Moving to Japan was definitely not an easy decision by any means. I was mulling over it for a very long time and honestly not even considering it for most of the time. But as someone who grew up in California and the Bay Area for most of my life, I've just really been in this bubble. You get used to it, you get really comfortable, and I realized I haven't really stepped out of that bubble. And this past December when I was in Japan, it was kind of a wake-up call. I also think making this decision came with the fact that I learned the language and I know how to speak it. Granted, there are so many things like apartments and phone numbers and just bank accounts and putting together all these things, they will be really hard, but having like a basic knowledge of the language that will help me get around is going to be a huge plus. So as I mentioned, I was in Japan this past December and January, and I want to talk about month trial runs. If you're ever planning on maybe moving somewhere, I highly recommend just doing a month trial run. I've done this with other cities and they helped me decide whether I wanted to live there, and in one case it was actually, no, I don't want to live in this place. So it gives you a lot of clarity because a month is just the right amount of time to kind of understand what it feels like to live in a different city or country. During my month trial run, which it really was not a trial run, I was in Japan just for personal travel and just some side projects, but it kind of became more of a trip to decide whether I really want to live there. And I just met so many incredible people and they inspired me to just pull the trigger and go. Another reason is an inspiring read. I was reading The Defining Decade as I was heading to Japan, and that book completely changed my mindset. Like, oh my god. It's such a good book that illustrates the complacency that you can often see with 20-year-olds, 20-somethings, and it described exactly what I was experiencing. In the book, it talks about this guy who goes to his therapist, who's the one who wrote this book, and he feels like he's drowning in the ocean. Like he could go any possible direction for help, but he just chooses to be there and hope that a boat or someone comes and rescues him. But in reality, it's a better move to just pick a direction and go. But that fear of just decision paralysis and not knowing whether this is the right direction to go to immobilizes us, and I felt exactly like that in terms of my career. And I was like, you know what? Let's pick a direction and go. And so sometimes you don't really know if the decision that you make for yourself is correct, but you just have to commit to it and it will eventually be the right decision. But yeah, I wanted to really talk about those two things just because I think it'll help for people trying to make a decision in their lives. The next thing I wanted to talk about is joining a startup, which is so exciting. I'm joining a really small 8 to 10 person startup. Thrilled, and I fell in love with the team when I first met them. I think the English/Japanese global environment that they created within the startup is so uncharacteristic of other Japanese startups, and not saying that's a bad thing, but I know myself deep inside, like I grew up in this country, my values are very American, and so, but I really like their passion for the goal that they're trying to drive, and it's inspiring and will create change in the Japanese financial literacy environment, and it's really loud. I'm so excited to learn more about the startup culture in Japan. I got a little taste of it when I visited, and I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be so exciting. Another question I get a lot about is how I got this job. I can make another video about this if you guys are interested, but oh my god, let me tell you, having a social media presence in Japan through Twitter is so helpful. I started my Twitter back in 2020. It was before I started any of my other social media accounts. And I just tweeted about stuff I was learning in business school, and then business school as an undergrad, language learning, etc. Anything you're good at, just tweet about that. And eventually people who are interested in that will follow you and be interested in what you have to say. And so there's a lot of VCs and startups in the Japan Twitter world as well. And through that, I knew the CEO as of like a year, and we connected again more recently, and that's just kind of how it happened. Grow your social capital, whether it's online or offline, it makes a difference. Creating content is something that I always loved doing, and so I met a lot of inspiring creators when I was in Japan, and just seeing how they worked and collabing with them. Yeah, and I can't wait to just do my own little twist to the kind of content that I've been trying to make, and just make it very me. I want to better connect with you guys and make really fun, exciting content that you guys can learn from, and hopefully take you guys along my journey of moving to Japan. But in conclusion, thank you guys so much for all your support and for watching. Like, you do not understand how much I appreciate this. It is just so crazy that this life change is happening, and it honestly is like a pinch me moment, and I do not believe that it's happening right now. But make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you guys want to continue to see content as I move to Japan and all the little things that will happen in that process. 今日の動画見てくれてありがとうございます。I will see you guys next time. Bye!